Hey guys, and welcome back to another edition of Outside the Field. Today is Trade Talk Thursday, and as
Hell yeah,
always,
bro.
I'm Mr. Chris Weideman. That's Mr. Jacob Crabtree, and we are here to give you the best fantasy football advice in all of the land as the certified pros that we are.
Yes, sir. I feel great about my picks today, man. I'm honestly very excited and I really feel like this is my best trade targets I've had this year.
I just think that at this point we have an idea of who's who, and you just now just trying to take advantage of people playing down, like if they're having a couple bad weeks or if they had a couple of good weeks. So like at this point, we think we know who the players are, so it's just more you're trying to take advantage of these ups and downs because other people will panic off one bad week where we know we need to hold or we need to go buy real quick. So we're gonna be really taking advantage of this, guys. As always, we tell you that we think the best way to really help improve your roster is to try to go out there and trade. It's how Crabtree and I really try to invest and build our rosters is through the trade market. So if you're in a quiet league, guys, where you can't really get people trading, don't be
Leave.
afraid. Yeah, honestly, first and foremost. But how I would maybe the first time, guys, you do have to overpay a little. And I know that we all hate overpaying. I know.
Never. Never.
But
Never.
sometimes if you get that first
It's
over,
crazy, bro. It's too late for him.
if you get the slight overpay the first time, you might get some more people intrigued into the trading idea if it's a quiet league. But obviously, you want to be looking long term when other people are looking short term, and you want to really take advantage of that, guys. So we're always out here thinking about the long haul and how we can take advantage of the market right now.
Best tactic to use, guys, is completely and utterly throw them terrible ass offers every single day. Make them so bad to where they just laugh, and then one day just give them a semi okay offer where you clearly win still, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? This is a much better one." And if he's in the mood to trade,
No, no, guys.
boom,
The
baby. Dude,
signature.
all it takes is one trade that you just completely whack someone and you are off to the races.
But no,
Happens at least once a year for me.
guys, the signature Crabtree move is when they're like, I don't know about it, man. You hit them with the, yeah, I'm not really too sure about it either. I might have to rescind my offer soon. And then they start panicking. They're like, oh no. They're like, I kind of like this deal, but I'm not sold, but I don't want to lose the opportunity. So they panic hit it. That's Crabtree's number one move in all of fantasy
We
football,
we
guys.
can't we can't share this with any of our fantasy leagues this week because I can't let them know. They can't let them know, bro. Works every time, bro. If only I could honestly, I might have to have Andrew take a screenshot of my starting lineups and just post them on here so you guys can see how saucy these teams are. Like, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm in 5 leagues. There's one league where I'm 1-3, and I should not be 1-3. I just have gotten extremely unlucky. I literally have a saucy team like Kyler, Cooks, Mont, uh,
D Hop.
AJ Brown, Allen Robinson, Hopkins, Mari Cooper, Kittle. Like that's my starting lineup. But I'm 1-3. But my other 4 leagues, I'm 4-0 in, and it's like they're just like.
Yeesh! But guys, that being said, we are going to get started with today's episode.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Guys, welcome back, and we are going to get started with Trade Talk Thursday. One of our favorite episodes of the week to do, guys. Like we said, it's how we built our team, so we're super excited. So we're going to just hop right into quarterbacks. Mr. Crabtree, who are you buying this week at the quarterback
Dude,
position?
this is the guy. I came into the season thinking he's gonna be the man. He's falling a little short of the MVP type talks that I was talking about right now, but he's still a great buy right now, I think. Justin Herbert currently is ranked 12th quarterback overall. I think he picks that up, especially after seeing on Monday night him flaming the Raiders. But this guy's got a playoff matchup of KC, Texas, the Texans, and Denver. Like, that's pretty saucy. Like,
Ooh, that
Denver's got a
Denver championship match is tough though.
yeah, but Denver's got a good pass rush, but like from their cornerbacks, like they're getting a little bit. What's that face for?
Dude,
Before I say what?
they have one of the best, and I mean absolute best secondaries in all of football. They have an elite cornerbacking group. Like, not only are they like good, but they have high end out. Like, they have like probably three high end cornerbacks out there. You got Kyle Fuller. They took Mr. Surtain in the draft. You still got Bryce Callahan. Like that. That is a really good secondary. It is not one that you want to play with.
That Denver game, maybe. Sorry, guys, it's been a while since I've watched a Denver game. Usually just yawn and fall asleep with that game, but I got this man busting a laugh out. But no, I still think that's a solid like playoff schedule. Like the Denver game's a little questionable, but KC and Texans to get into the championship, I think that's solid. So I think Herbert's my guy to trade for, and then right now the guy I got trading against is Burrow. Playoff schedule: Denver, Baltimore, KC, and as we all know, KC tends to turn things on later in games or later in the season, their defense at least. So that one's like a hit or miss for me. Like I just don't know what you're gonna get late season wise. But those are my two guys trade for and trade away. Chris,
uh,
what do you think and who you got?
so obviously, guys, this is going to be kind of dependent on each league. But the quarterback I think you should go target is Mr. Jalen Hurts. He is currently quarterback 3 due to his rushing. But I think you might have some owners who really believe in him and they're going to kind of hold him to that value, which is completely fine. You're just going to let them go about their day. But if you had someone who bought Jalen Hurts and because he hasn't been a great necessarily quarterback, they're a little worried. And I think you maybe capitalize on that and find that owner out there and try to snag him for a little bit cheaper price because I think because of that rushing, he's going to honestly just be a rock star all year. So I feel really good about keeping him out there. And if you need a quarterback, try to make a play. Um, the second guy, Mr. Sam Darnold, it's someone we've honestly been big on. We've told you to go out and acquire. So this kind of goes back to what I was saying in yesterday's video about how we're churning our roster. So the chances are, if you have Sam Darnold, you probably should have another quarterback unless you just kind of whiffed on the QB position to begin with. But if you didn't whiff and Sam Darnold's your QB2, like as much as I would love to tell you to keep Sam Darnold as your QB2 in like a one quarterback league, he's going to be a top 12 quarterback. He's currently quarterback, what do we say, 5 or 8?
He's 5 right now.
Yeah, he's quarterback 5. So if he's your second quarterback, guys, go flip him for a receiver, maybe like an Antonio Brown. Go flip him for a Chase Edmonds, guys. Like he's your quarterback too. Like, I mean, go get somebody who actually helps out your roster in another way and could be like a nice player for you. So this one is a little situational.
Really fair too. Like those two guys that you threw out, I love that actually.
Yeah, like Chase Edmonds, I would love to get a 14-point floor guy who's not going to have eye upside, but he's a nice running back too or flex play to have, especially with bye weeks and injuries coming up. So if you have Sam Darnold
in 1 QB leagues, though, correct?
Yeah, if you have him in 2 QB league, like you probably got him at a cheap price, and I probably want to hold on to him and just be happy that I picked him up when I did in the draft.
Yes, sir.
But moving over to the running back position, Mr. Damian Harris, he's had a bad couple weeks. Before the video started, I wasn't really paying attention, but I did hear Mr. Jacob tell me that Damian Harris is not looked that great. And I kind of did expect a lot of people to say that to me, guys. Damien Harris obviously played Tampa, which is about the worst running matchup you can have this week. He played New Orleans, which was a tough matchup last week. But, I mean, he gets to go out against Houston this week, guys. And Houston is a defense you definitely want to go out and target. Their offense actually isn't maybe as inept as we thought, but their defense is still terrible. Absolutely terrible. We want to target them. I think Damian Harris is still going to be that guy. I think this is still going to be kind of like a rush first offense. So yeah, he had a couple down weeks, but we were kind of expecting that honestly. So I think you can go probably get Damian Harris on like the cheap right now, and I mean as a back end running back too, during these bye weeks and stuff, like it's always nice to have an extra running back, and I think he's a good one to potentially have.
Dude, I'm honestly high-key worried about all Patriots players except for Jacoby Myers. And the reason I say that though is go look at the Patriots games. Their defense has held their opponent to I think the teens like 3 times, and they've lost all 3 of those games. Like it's their offense is not putting up points right now, and like I
Yeah,
don't know, I don't know if that's going to get any better with Mac Jones. Like Mac Jones he doesn't look like the next Mahomes, next Lamar Jackson, but he looks like your very, very good game manager, but he doesn't know how to finish drives. Like, if you're in a league that has a kicker, and Nick Folk is out there, I would be very interested about going and picking up Nick Folk. I actually think he's top 8 right now in the
he
season,
is.
but I think that's a really solid like kicker to grab right now because I don't think Mac Jones is gonna be able to punch it in right now. He just doesn't have that figured out. Like you're telling me your defense, who consistently Patriots have been like top 10 for the last few years. 2 years ago they were like a top 1, top 2. They were crazy good with when Gilmore had that All-Star season, but you're not winning games when you're holding your opponent under 20 points. That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
That is
So
tough.
for that reason, I'm staying away.
So now
I'm out. I'm out.
too. And for that reason alone,
The only reason I'm not staying away from Jacoby Myers is because Myers is literally getting an insane amount of targets right now. Like, I don't know how this is going to keep up, but like, literally, I think in 2 games he's had like 13 targets and 12 targets. Like, he's
He
having a
did.
crazy amount. Yeah, he's just if that's somebody you guys have right now, like that's a great guy to try to acquire, but I don't think you'll be able to get him cheap just because of his target share. Um, but
Uh,
my running back this week, or sorry, did you have something to say, Chris?
Go ahead.
All right. My running back this week is unfortunately the guy that got hurt. Tears down my face. This guy is I have a lot of shares in him in my league because I believe in this dude. And this dude, I'm telling you, when he's playing, he's shown you already. When he's playing, he's a top 10. Honestly, I'm willing to say top 8 running back. He's right at that 8 mark for me. But David Montgomery, when healthy, that's where I place him. That's where I had him in my rankings consistently. This is a guy. He's going to be out 4 or 5 weeks. If you are in a position to where you can risk this, I think that this is a great snag for you. Like me currently, I'm 4-0 in a lot of my leagues, in 4 of my leagues. If I can go acquire David Montgomery and just win 1, maybe 2 of those games, go 2-2, and you're looking at a 6-2 start, and you get David Montgomery back on the back half, dude, that's awesome. David Montgomery has the probably the second or third best fantasy playoff matchup there is. And this is something like as for a running back, and this is somebody that I think that you should go out and get right now while people are like, "Oh man, he just got hurt. I don't know if I'm gonna make it." Like this is a great guy to go target right now.
So, would you trade Chris Carson for David Montgomery if you could afford to kind of like buy
Like I'm trading Chris Carson for Montgomery one for
one for
one.
one? Yeah,
Oh, 1,000%,
Clyde.
1,000%.
Clyde.
That I'd think about, but I think I would do that too, just because I think Clyde's got the upside of Montgomery, but not the consistency.
Daryl Henderson.
I'm 4-0, yeah.
Antonio Gibson.
No, I wouldn't do that.
James Robinson.
Yes, I would.
And I'll throw you one more. Cordero Patterson.
Yes, 100%. And I actually want to take back on Darrell Henderson. I would not on him. I'm actually like he's sneaking up for me. Like Darrell Henderson looks pretty good. I'm just the only reason I said yes at first because I'm a little worried about his health. He like the last few years I feel like I in the back of my head I keep hearing like oh he's been out 1 or 2 games here and there like that's the only reason I say
Okay,
that.
real
But
final real one, and I'll Joe Mixon, just because I know you're not a Mixon guy.
I'm not a Mixon fan at all, and especially too because he's hurt too, like 1,000%. Like Mixon might only miss like a week or 2, compared to Montgomery's 4 weeks. But yeah, I would do that 100,000%.
Cool. Who are you selling then this week?
I am selling Patterson this week, and the reason for it is this is the best point in the season to do it. I don't think he can keep this up, be the number one guy, target-wise, shares. I think Pitts later on in the season gets going a lot better. Ridley, I think we can expect more out of him later on in the season as well. And I think you'll start seeing, even if he takes over as like the full running back, I just don't see him putting up 30 points a game consistently. Like he's been in the league for what, like 20 years it feels like now, and you're talking.
He's 30 years old. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it feels like he's been in the league forever, and you're telling me now, like at 30 years old, he's peaking and just putting up these insane top 5 numbers. Like, where was he prior to this? This just does not seem like real and like consistent. Like it can stay up.
I would sell Cordero Patterson. Like this was a guy I was gonna tell you guys, but Crabtree, he was really adamant on it. But that being said, like I do think Cordero Patterson, especially like on sleeper with his running back receiver eligibility, like he's a player I would like to have on my roster, guys. Like I think he's honestly going to give you like 14 or 15 a game. Like I personally see it. I think like he's not the target share leader. Like he is behind. He might be ahead of Pitts, but Pitts still has really good weeks with a target share perspective. Calvin Ridley definitely has a bigger target share than him right now. Matt Ryan just hasn't been hitting him. But like I think because of his rushing, because of his receiving, and they apparently really like to use him in the red zone. Like I think he's going to give you like 14 or 15 points a game, guys. But like I think just right now his perceived value is going to be like through the roof. So I think I would definitely try to flip him right now for honestly like a nice running back. Like if you could go get Darrell Henderson for Cordero Patterson, or
that'd be nice.
Chris Carson would be really close. I would have to think a while, but I'd probably take Chris Carson. James Robinson, I would definitely flip him for. If you can flip him for Jonathan Taylor, I mean, guys, honestly, like
dude, you're losing it if you think you can get Jonathan Taylor for Cordero Patterson.
If you can get a mid running back 2 guys for Cordero Patterson, it's definitely a flip I would make. I do have him currently at running back 18. So I mean, like I said, I do feel good about him moving forward, but I do think his perceived value is definitely going to be higher. So I would definitely flip him if possible.
Do you think you can get Antonio Gibson for him?
Yeah, and I would flip him for Antonio Gibson. Because Gibson struggled, so I think he'll definitely find the right owner who would make it for you.
I don't think you could get Antonio Gibson.
I think in the right league you can. But my running back sell of the week is Mr. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. A couple weeks ago, guys, I told you that I just didn't believe in him, and I told you I needed to see it from him. He gave you a good couple weeks in a row now, both like 15, 18-point games. So I think now people are going to be buying in on the Clyde hype again. They're going to be like, oh yeah, they're bringing him in on this offense, but they're getting Josh Gordon in town, so I think they're going to try to start spreading the ball out a little bit more again. And it's a Patrick Mahomes offense, guys. It's gonna flow through Patrick. So right now, I would just try to flip Clyde if possible for like probably pretty similar looking things. I would try to flip Patterson for.
That's a good take. I like that. See, Clyde is so weird to me. Like especially as a Chiefs fan, like his upside is so nice. Like I feel like Chiefs players in general have like the highest upside in fantasy football just because of a guy named Mahomes. Like if you go position by position, Hill, receiver, it's Hill. Like obviously, like all these guys can get you 20, 30, but not everybody can get you 50 points a game consistently like Hill can. Kelsey, same thing. He's been the top of the class, top tight end for last 5 years. Running back, I don't think Clyde's like the top guy, but like his upside's got to be top 10 for sure. What's going on?
I'm so sorry. I have some distracting things, guys, but I'm here for you. I promise. I'm sorry, guys. But on to a real topic. I like that call. I think you're very much right with it. Um,
Chris, this is not a different podcast. I don't want to
my
fantasy football podcast, sir.
my receiver buy of the week, guys.
Keep it together. Keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together.
I'm sorry, guys. My receiver buy of the week is Mr. CeeDee Lamb. He's had a couple of down performances now, but he's obviously still that guy out there, guys. I think he was best receiver coming out of his draft class. I think that he's the future of this offense, and they were able to kind of lean on the run these past couple weeks, so CD didn't have to be as involved. Dalton Schultz was more involved than we probably would have expected. So I think CD can easily bounce back. He's like right around receiver 30 on the season right now. So leading into my next guy, if I could take Debo Samuels and flip him for CeeDee Lamb, I would feel super great. Probably a lot of those people in like the mid receiver 2 spot right now, you could maybe with the right person talk them into giving you CeeDee Lamb. Crabtree, would you trade Mike Williams for CeeDee Lamb today?
Oh, bro.
1 for 1.
Yes. But like it'd be hard because like you obviously like Mike Williams is killing it right now. But like you can't like CeeDee Lamb is the man, dude. Like I have I've never been more excited about like an up and coming receiver like I am Lamb. Like as a dynasty purposes, like I constantly see like AJ Brown, DK Metcalf ranked like 1 and 2 dynasty receiver wise, and then like Lamb. But personally, me like it's Lamb 100%.
Honestly, number one, like long term, I'd probably say Jefferson, but Lamb's probably number 2 for me.
That's fair. I've never been big on Jefferson though. I'd have Jefferson as 4 for me.
Would you flip Deontay Johnson for CeeDee Lamb?
I'm gonna say no, and I think that's really really bold.
It's very bold.
But the reason I say no is because dynasty yes, but like in a redraft
Yeah, we're talking about redraft. As always.
Yeah, what we mainly talk about is redraft, just for you guys though. And we only talk about dynasty when we like say dynasty. But redraft, no, I wouldn't. And the reason for it is because how bad Big Ben is. He's just dumping it down to Deontay Johnson. Like Johnson's getting crazy targets, but he's catching like everything. Like he's literally going like 9 for 13, 7 for 11. Like he's just getting them all. And that's 7 points right there. And he's typically getting at least 70 yards, and sometimes he's getting a score every other game. Like he's solid right now, and none of the other receivers are worth a damn in Pittsburgh. Like literally, it's Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris. Like those are the 2 guys.
It's very interesting, but
but I wouldn't have said that a few weeks ago though. That's the crazy thing. Like just the way Dallas is playing right now. Like they're spreading it out everywhere. So I don't know what you're going to consistently get from Lamb. He's a great receiver, but I just don't know if they're going to give him the ball.
That's fair. But as I mentioned a little bit, guys, Debo Samuels is the guy I try to go out and sell. And once again, this is not because I don't believe in the player. I actually do think Debo Samuels will find a way to finish as the number 1 option in the 49ers passing attack. But I mean, you do have Brandon Ayuk out there. George Kittle will make it back healthy this week. So, I mean, I do think there's just a lot of mouths to feed, and they ultimately are, as they get more healthy, going to find a way to be a run-first team first. So, I think this is probably just going to be the peak of his, his perceived value. With 2 40-point games already under his belt in full PPR, he's probably looking like a full-ass meal. So, if you can go out there and flip him for, I don't know, a Terry McLaurin, you can go flip him a DJ Moore, if you can go flip him for a DeAndre Hopkins, like I think you guys can realistically go get a receiver 1 from Debo Samuels, who you probably drafted as your 3rd or 4th receiver. You can go flip him for a receiver 1 who's maybe in like a slight struggle, maybe like a DK Metcalf. Like if you can go get a receiver 1 for Debo Samuels, like I think it's very realistic right now, and I think you'll be happy later down the road you did it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my receivers and starts and sits that I had this week. My
You mean
start
buys
first and
and
foremost.
lows?
Oh, sorry, my trade target. Wow, dude. I'm sorry, man. It is late for me. My trade targets. Somebody I'm selling high and buying big. The guy I'm buying big right now, Corey Davis. This is a guy that they're going to be down each week. I know you've heard us say his name here and there. Even with Crowder, I feel like this is something like with the big game and Crowder actually getting more targets this week. I think this is something where you could see a concerned Corey Davis owner be like, "Oh, Crowder's back. He's the receiver one." This is not the case. They paid Corey Davis to come in and be the guy this year. Crowder is consistently hurt on and off or on and off. I think Crowder or Corey Davis is going to be a very, very nice flex play / league winner down the road. Like this is a guy like you want to get now, and I don't think he's going to cost you like a lot. Like me personally in a dynasty league, I traded 23rd seconds for him, which if you're not in dynasty, that's a snag. That's a steal. This dude's 26 years old and the receiver one in an offense that they're always going to be down and just throwing the ball. Like that's a good deal. So that's where I got my my trade buy this week, and then my trade sell. I gotta pull it up on my phone. Was Tyler Lockett, and the reason I got Tyler Lockett this week is you always see Russell fall in the back half. He always chokes that second half away. I just think DK is going to start showing up a little bit more. He's the guy. He's the receiver one there. Tyler Lockett usually always has a great start first half and then slowly fades away when Russell fades also, and I just see that happening again this year as well.
And I also think that Tyler Lockett has just shown us these past couple seasons that he's just pretty inconsistent. Like, he might, guys, finish as a top 10 receiver again, but I mean, he's going to do that all basically in probably 4 weeks. Like, the rest of the season's probably going to be pretty tough to roster and start him. So I definitely like that call.
Yeah.
No, I was just looking at, he dropped 62 one game last year, and he scores 240 points. He scored a quarter of his points in one game, guys. And I think that's just kind of who Tyler Lockett is at this point, and we just need to understand that. So, I mean, he is probably your ultimate, like,
modern day T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, I mean, he can give you a really big game, guys, but he's going to give you a lot more duds. So he's just not a player you necessarily want to roster. Russell's probably going to come down as we see, as always. So if you can flip him out there for a nice little piece, it's definitely something I want to look forward to. And I definitely do like the Corey Davis buy. I told you guys that we sat in the last week 2 and 3, but we ultimately loved him for the season, and he definitely went out and did his promise this week. So
yes, sir. Love it.
Feel good about Corey Davis moving forward. Hopping over into the tight ends, our final position. I don't know why you guys always make me repeat myself on these tight ends, guys, but as I told you last week, we're going to go out and buy TJ Hawkinson again. He still played a little under what we maybe wanted him to do. So now this person, whoever has TJ Hawk, is going to be like, man, maybe the beginning of the season was a fluke, but TJ Hawkinson is their offense with those running backs right now. And Jared Goff is going to have to keep looking his way because he has nowhere else to look. So I would definitely be trying to acquire TJ Hawkinson if possible. I would flip Mark Andrews if possible, Noah Fant if possible. What do you have to say? Just get it out of your mouth.
Question: are you getting a little worried about Hawk at all?
No. No worries. Are you worried?
I don't think so, not yet. If I get another week like the last two, though, I'm gonna start getting a little worried.
Just a little bit.
Not like full panic mode, but like just to the point to where like, hey, they're gonna just lock in on Hawk because there's nobody else.
Yeah, but I mean we're not there yet, and I think you should go buy him. To sell, guys, Mike Gesicki kind of came out of nowhere. Honestly, he just kind of fell off the radar to begin the season. And then Jacoby Brissett started, and now we've had 2 monster weeks out of Mr. Mike Gesicki. But I think as you see Tua get back here, hopefully in a couple weeks, because, I mean, this offense is very stagnant with Jacoby Brissett under quarterback. I think when you see Tua get back out there, I think Mike Gesicki's value kind of comes and goes. So if you could take advantage of this right now, I would be very much out there in that market trying to do that and flip him for any startable tight end that you think has long term value, because I do not think Mike Gesicki is your long term option at the tight end position.
I totally agree with you. So I actually had Mike as my trade away guy too. The first two games, first game and a half that he played with Tua, he had 0 and 7, and then that's the game Brissett came in. So he grabbed the rest of his 7 with Brissett, and then 16 or 18 and 16. That's all with the backup quarterback. He does not have a relationship with Tua, at least on the field. This is a guy that as soon as Tua gets back, I see his numbers dropping immediately. This is a guy I would trade right away, like Chris said, who is currently tight end 10 right now as well. So definitely go snag what you can. But the guy I got this week to trade for and go snag is Kyle Pitts. As we were talking about early on, I know this is kind of like a hard thing to buy with him not performing as well, but he's getting the targets. Rookie tight ends struggle, they do, but he's getting the targets, and that's what matters right now. I think that he's going to come on. Matt Ryan looked a lot better this week. I think he's going to kind of figure out some more things. Kyle Pitts saw 9 targets this week. I think this continues. I think down the stretch, this could be a sneaky play if you can snag him now for cheap before he gets really, really expensive. So this is a great guy that I think you can buy a lot cheaper than what people drafted him at.
And if you're in a keeper or a dynasty and someone is starting to potentially just worry, which they shouldn't worry because it's a rookie tight end, we do never expect rookie tight ends to perform. But if they're worrying about the efficiency or the catch rate, and you could potentially try to finesse Kyle Pitts out of them guys, I would very much try to make this happen, because over these next couple seasons, I think you're really going to see Kyle Pitts come alive. So I definitely like that call.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, I think that's all we got for you today. As always, please take a moment of your time, share, like, comment, subscribe, whatever makes you just fancy us even more. Just do it. It's your life and it's your world. We're just living in it. Chris, what do you got?
We're trying to be a part of your guys' daily routine. So how are you supposed to know that Thursday trade talks dropped if you're not subscribed? So just hit that subscribe button. We'll wait. We're just gonna wait 2 seconds real quick for you to hit like and subscribe. 1, 2. Thank you for pressing the button. Thank you guys for tuning in today. You guys are honestly the best. This isn't possible without you guys, and we really do enjoy getting out here for you. So thank you as always. Yes, big hearts from us here outside the field. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.